And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection, your host, Robert Pictou. Our show today comes to you from the traditional and unceded territory of the Haisla people. The League, founded by Bob Russell and Hockey Works International Limited, opened its doors in early 2006 with a unique concept and approach to improving the standard of developing young hockey players within the Junior A League format setting. We begin today's Open Connection with Dr. Derek Prue.
Kitimat's great. It's been a great experience. It's our furthest west team, so there are some challenges, with some of the logistics and getting players to town and some of that type of stuff. But now that the doors are open, it's pretty exciting. Well, at the Junior A level, usually you're very lucky if you can have 4 or 5 regional or local players. Our players come from around the world. We're lucky enough to have one player currently from Kitimat, one from Terrace, and one from Smithers on the Kitimat SAC team, and the rest of our guys are from across Western Canada. Kevin, he's the winningest coach in our division. Won the championship the last 2 years with High Prairie. So, he's used to the pressure and building a great organization. It's not easy. It's never easy starting a division or a footprint from scratch. We span from Mackenzie to Kitimat. The Alberta teams, there's 10 teams in the West Division. The 6 Alberta teams and the 4 BC. So they're technically the same division. The winner of our division this year goes to Quebec. We have a national championship that goes right across Canada. One of only 4 hockey championships that are national. Every third year the West hosts. So that might be something that the region could look at even for a couple of years from now. 18 to 21 is junior, but we have several players, that are underage, still in school, that are looking at us as an option for development that can step into junior A level. The GMHL has sent over 1,000 players to every level of pro and college. So that's what we're here to do, is develop these young men. It's full time for them. They're on the ice every day. So that's really the goal for us is to get those guys. Give them the tools that they need on and off the ice. Our players do a ton of volunteering. These guys were in the schools, in the elementary school for an assembly a couple days ago, and the kids are extremely excited. I noticed a bunch of them were here today. So those are the type of things that Junior A, other than any other level of hockey, really can do that, because the players are in billet situations, it's just it's a very community-oriented type of program. We signed in the West Division, our first female. She's a goaltender from Italy, one of their top goaltenders in the entire country. She's playing for a team located on the Enoch Cree First Nation, Northern Alberta Tomahawks. So, all of our other players and our players that play in the out positions are male. There's several female goaltenders who have played at the Junior A level, generally it's it's a contact league, so usually you don't see females on the out positions because they never play contact hockey. It's a core of our company and of our division. We're over 50% Indigenous, and that's every single team, not just 1 or 2 teams. We've become kind of a hub for top Indigenous players across North America. They look to us. They know that we understand where they come from and where they want to go and how to get them there. So we're very happy that that our division is over 50% Indigenous, and that's represented by the team name, chosen season for the Heisla, for the Grizzly Bear, and the SAC in Kitimat. I mean, we're happy to be here. We are still looking for a few billet families. We've got players ready to come. So, for if you're in the Kitimat or Terrace area and willing to open up your home, there is compensation involved. There's no driving involved. The players are signed to codes of conduct. There's no drinking. There's a curfew. So it's a very, very good environment, both ways. So that would be fantastic. And that information is on Kitimat SAC Facebook and website.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. Great coaches give their teams direction and motivation to help them reach their goals. They have a plan, are organized, and find a way to encourage their teams to believe and work together. The best coaches are those who will lead an enthusiastic, excelling, growing team by personal example. Let us return the conversation with head coach Kevin Hoffner.
Loving Kitimat. Could rain a little less, but I'm originally from Kelowna, so it's kind of different for me, but I love the community. Everybody's been so friendly and really, really open to our team coming to town, so quite excited about it. We spent a little too much time in a penalty box. They scored 3 power play goals, so not going to win a game in a penalty box, so we're going to adjust that after this period here. Well, we've got a lot of potential. I've got 2 players coming from Quebec next week. We're short of billets. Otherwise, if we had more billets, we'd have 5 more people right now, from a guy from Victoria, a guy from Toronto, the 2 guys from Quebec. We just need some housing for them. Well, they've been practicing a long time. I just got thrown into the mix last week. I drove here from Northern Alberta, where I have another team. So with a little practice, we're definitely going to be a contender, especially once we get some more talent. As long as you're playing hockey, playing football, baseball, volleyball, school sports, get involved. It's very important. But once they get involved in sports, you have to be a little more disciplined in life in general. And all sports, discipline is the difference between winning and losing. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to groom them yet, so they're a little wild, I would say. So again, taking too many penalties. When I won the championship in Alberta, we were the least penalized team in the league. And like I said, you don't win games in the penalty box. We had a rough start. I own another team in Northern Alberta, and I coached it for 3 years. We won 2 championships, and we're on our hopefully win our 3rd this year. It just takes time to build a team. Our first year in High Prairie was pretty much the same as it is here. Short of players, short of billets. But now if you follow our High Prairie team on Facebook, you see all the good we're doing in the community. We're out at high schools playing dodgeball with kids. We're shoveling seniors' driveways. I don't think we'll have to do that here with all the rain, but but if it does snow, we will be out there shoveling seniors' driveways. I coached a lot of minor hockey over the years in Kelowna. Won a few provincial championships in bantam, midget triple. So we all provincials, and then I took over the High Prairie team 3 years ago. Won the championship. Only lost 3 games all year. And then last year, I was hired a young coach, sort of groomed him, mentored him, and I was just a GM, and we only lost 1 game all year.
I was actually a coach and a player playing basketball, but I did it for the same reason they brought hockey to Kitimat at this age group. Not only is it a great way to get these kids active, but they have to sign contracts saying that they'll behave. This is a great way not only to build good athletes, but build good citizens. So I'm all for this. I 100% support this type of initiative. What I advise young kids and young people is, if it's sports or music or any other thing for that matter, find a passion. Find a passion. It'll keep you away from the ugly stuff in life, meaning the hard drugs that are out there today. The kids of today are facing a lot harder pressures than I was when I was a kid. Because back then they didn't have fentanyl, they didn't have crystal meth, they didn't have cocaine or heroin that available. So kids of today, you really need something, find the passion, stick with it, and it'll get you through the tough times.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. Established in 1983, the construction of Ridley terminals was a joint venture between the federal government and the Federal Commerce and Navigation in support of the coal developments in northeast British Columbia. In 1991, the federal government became the sole owner of the terminal, making Ridley Terminals a federal crown corporation. In the next two segments of Open Connection, we'll bring you highlights of Transport Canada's port expansion.
Thank you for joining us online today for this important announcement about Trigon Pacific Terminals. Trigon, or formerly Ridley Terminals, has been a cornerstone of the Port of Prince Rupert's capacities for nearly 40 years, and we're excited to be here today. My name is Sean Stevenson. I'm the President and CEO of the Prince Rupert Port Authority, and I'm pleased to be your host today for the announcement coming. I am joining you today from the traditional territories of the Coast Salish people, but I want to recognize that the announcement today pertains to Trigon Pacific Terminals that operates in the traditional and unceded territory of the Coast Tsimshian people, and specifically the 9 allied tribes of Metlakatla and Laqu-Lambs. Now, it's my great pleasure to welcome Transport Minister Omar Alghabra for this important announcement about support for construction of a second berth at Trigon Pacific Terminals, and to expand the export capacity in Prince Rupert through the National Trade Corridors Fund. Please join me in welcoming Minister Alghabra.
I'd like to begin by acknowledging that I am joining you from Ottawa, the traditional territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe peoples. I'm happy to join you all virtually today, along with Robert Booker from Trigon Pacific Terminal and Mayor Gary Rees. I know I wish I could be with you in Prince Rupert in person, home to one of the most important ports in Canada's supply chain, but I'm glad that at least we are able to do this virtually. Being North America's closest port to Asia, the Port of Prince Rupert helps keep our economy connected to key global markets. Our government knows how hard the last 2 years have been on supply chains around the world, including here at home. We also know that Canadians are struggling with the rising cost of living. Our government's goal has always been to make the lives of Canadians better. We made this clear in our fall economic statement released earlier this month. Our government is taking action to build an economy that works for everyone, while supporting Canadians as costs rise. Part of this commitment means continuing to strengthen our supply chains so Canadians can get what they need on time, and so that our economy remains competitive on the global stage. That's why I'm happy to be with you all today to announce that we are investing nearly $75 million to build a second berth at Trigon Pacific Terminals. J'annonce un investissement de près de 75 millions de dollars. This investment will be made through our government's $4.6 billion National Trade Corridors Fund. Once complete, this project will reduce congestion at the port and allow Trigon Pacific to increase trade with our partners overseas. The new berth will allow more ships at dock at the port of Prince Rupert and will be used to export products that support clean energy to global markets. Investments like these will help us meet our commitment to build an economy that works for everyone. It's also in line with the recent report from the Supply Chain Task Force, which put forward ways to make our supply chains more efficient and fluid and resilient. One of those was a key recommendation to ease congestion at our ports. And that's exactly what this investment will do for our supply chain in Western Canada and abroad. This is great news for our economy, great news for the strength of our supply chains, and great news for Canadians. Congratulations to Trigon and to everyone involved. I look forward to seeing the benefits for the communities in and around Prince Rupert, for our supply chain, and for all Canadians.
This is indeed great news for Trigon Pacific Terminals, but also for the broader Port of Prince Rupert as we look to grow and expand the export capacity to serve Canadian trade. Today, there's in excess of $60 billion worth of trade that's anchored through the Port of Prince Rupert, and investments like this in terminals, like Trigon Pacific, recognize the strategic importance of the Port of Prince Rupert for the future. I'll turn over the floor now to Rob Bucher, President and CEO of Trigon Pacific Terminals, for his remarks on the announcement.
We are centrally important to Canada's energy transition ambitions and the export of green energies. At the other end of the rail line that stops here in Trigon, you find some of Canada's most important energy producing regions. Regions that have huge endowments of both natural resources and the expertise needed to responsibly develop them from production to green energy supply. To the east of Prince Rupert, at the other end of the shipping lines that service the port, you find many of the markets where those same energy resources are in huge demand and will make a difference on the path to addressing climate change. Trigon has been a vital connection point between Canada and exporters and the global customers for nearly 40 years. And we are determined to expand and sustain this role for decades into the future. The mix of energy and other commodities that we ship from our terminal will most certainly change in the years to come, probably much faster than we would have even seen just a couple of years ago. But our advantage, our competitive advantage as Canadians remains steadfast. We are served by a highly efficient, underutilized rail corridor. We have available space to build, diversify, and expand our commodities. We have a highly skilled workforce that is deeply committed to the terminal's success. We have great proximity to Asia. We're closer to markets like Tokyo, Seoul than any other Canadian port or any of our international competitors. And what is very important to all of us as Trigon and me personally is that we have great alignment between our First Nations, business partners, government, and our community. In fact, I'd go one step further to say that it's not only alignment with our First Nations, but we have great encouragement, foresight, and leadership, something that I'm incredibly grateful for. In short, we have the attributes needed to become one of Canada's preeminent green energy export hubs. As of today, we have the funding needed to build out the foundational infrastructure. We've called our project B2BC, or Birth to Beyond Carbon. This project is a linchpin for the future of our terminal. It will deliver a near doubling of our throughput capacity, improved efficiency of use for existing berths, and a platform for commodity diversification, leading to what we foresee as being as much as 9 million tons of clean energy exports annually from Trigon. It will also position us to become Canada's first Western export terminal purpose-designed for hydrogen-based and other low-carbon fuels. I'm very excited to share that the work is already underway, and in a couple of weeks, shovels will be in the ground, or perhaps more accurately, in the water. With today's announcement, we anticipate product moving across B2BC by 2026. As part of this, we are already well down the path of solidifying commercial relationships to ensure good utilization. And this announcement will leapfrog us ahead. It creates a pathway for proponents to make investment decisions.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Located in the traditional territory of the Tsimshian First Nation, Trigon is located at the terminus of Canada's Northern Trade Corridor, with rail linkages across North America. In this final segment of Open Connection, Mayor Gary Reese of Lac-Williams.
Today I speak to you from the traditional territory of the Tsimshian people, which is made up of the 9 allied tribes of Lac-Williams and Metlakatla. Welcome you on behalf of the Lac-Williams Band and Metlakatla Band. The site of this terminal and the surrounding region have been an important focal for vibrant trade for thousands upon thousands of years. Just as it is today, the trade was based on relationship building, on ingenuity, and lots of hard work and determination. Layered upon this foundation has been a key objective has always been to seek out progressive future, looking economic opportunities for our people, opportunities that will sustain our people's well-being for generations to come. That's what makes Trigon's Second Birth such an exciting project. It not only creates training, employment, and procurement opportunities, but has also been designed to help this terminal transition to a more sustainable future. We've had a very good relationship with the Trigon management team since becoming part owners. In part, that's based on our community benefits agreement and the employment opportunities that are already available for our people. We look forward to being able to achieve even more through the B2BC Second Birth project. We want to see Prince Rupert become an even bigger part of the global trading network. In years to come, we will have the satisfaction of knowing that products shipped through this terminal are fueling economies and communities around the globe. We also have the satisfaction of knowing that's happening in a way that will help safeguard the natural beauty and vibrancy of regions like ours. It's good from an economic perspective, good from a values perspective, and it will be good for our communities and people. We appreciate today's federal support to help make it happen, and we look forward to working with Trigon to maximize the benefits that will come with that support. Thank you.
In 2018, Ridley Terminals celebrates 35 years of operation in the community of Prince Rupert on Canada's northwest coast. The Port of Prince Rupert offers North America's deepest natural harbor and is by far the closest North American port to Asian markets. Low mountain grades on the Canadian National Railway provide a fast and fuel-efficient link into the North American supply chain. As a result, Ridley Island was first suggested as a location for a coal terminal in a study commissioned by CN in 1965. And during a visit by Prime Minister Trudeau in 1970, the city of Prince Rupert asked for federal aid in developing the site with the idea of attracting a coal terminal builder. In 1978, the federal government announced their intention to develop Ridley Island. The provincial and federal governments teamed up to construct a road connecting Ridley Island to Highway 16 and to create necessary infrastructure for the development of grain and coal terminals. Ridley Terminals Incorporated was created in October 1981. The new road officially opened the following September at a cost of $10 million, while CN launched a $330 million upgrade to its northern BC infrastructure. The first coal train reached Ridley Terminals in November 1983. The first ship, the Shoryu Maru, was loaded in January, and the terminal officially opened for business on June 8, 1984. Ridley Terminals set records right from the beginning. In November of the first year of operation, loading nearly 180,000 tons of coal aboard the bulk carrier River Star in just 31 hours. In 1985, the first full year of operation, the terminal loaded an astonishing 7 million tons of coal. Ridley Terminals has grown and diversified through the years, and today operates a world-class marine bulk handling terminal, shipping metallurgical and thermal coal and petroleum coke from British Columbia and Alberta into Asian markets. Its 9,000-ton ship loading system is the fastest on the West Coast, with loading rates that exceed the largest terminals of its key competitors in the global coal markets.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind and heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.